Okay, so I'm testing the 1290 Super Adventure S. I've been on it for 45 minutes. So far, I gotta be honest, I'm not really, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Amazed? Not too taken with it, to be honest. I was half expecting something between a CR500 and an adventure bike. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but it's not as insane as I thought, but that's okay, so I don't need a bike for that. But it's uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable. This seat, I don't know if you can see, look, the thickness, it's like sitting on an orange box. So I'm not feeling the seat. This particular model, this demonstrator, hasn't got heated grips, so I've got no idea what they're like. They haven't got the luggage to go on the back of it, so I can't check out what the luggage is like. But that to one side. The riding modes, I've put it in comfort, and I can't say that was really comfortable. I've also tried it in sport. Didn't really make a lot of difference. It seems hard all the time. Doesn't matter what mode you put it in, it's just hard all the time. And you change it on here. You go into motorcycle, ride mode. I got it in sport. I did have it in street, but I got that in sport. Damping, I've got that in comfort now. But to be honest, I didn't notice the difference between comfort and sport. I just didn't really notice any difference. I've ridden the 1200 Tiger, and I couldn't fault that bike. Okay, it looks a little bit like an old man's bike, the Triumph Tiger, whereas this looks a bit more hardcore, hooliganish, whatever. I wasn't sure on that headlight to start with, but I like it now. But I don't know. The Triumph Tiger, I couldn't find anything I didn't like about it, apart from the colours. Whereas this is the 2019 model, but you can still get the previous model, which is you can get the black ones, which is cool, with the orange 1290 down the side of the tank here, which I like. But it's just uncomfortable. And I don't want something that I'm going to be touring around the UK or Europe on and get sore ass, which I get on pretty much most of my other bikes. This seat, I just can't. It's just, I'm going to go as far as to say that seat is shite. But anyway, I've only been on it 45 minutes, so I'm going to carry on. The handling on it is awesome. It's got grunt. It's not a complete lunatic bike, which I was half expecting, but like I said before, I'm not buying an adventure bike for speed. I've got other bikes for speed, because obviously, you know, up to 70 mile an hour, obviously. I want something I can chuck all my stuff in the boxes on the back and just do one for the long weekend, go away, tour around, you know. I like the handling of it, but I'm just not so far struck on the comfort side of it, which when you're going to be on something like this for hours is an important factor. Anyway, I'm going to carry on riding it and see how I get on. Thought I'd do another little video. I've been on it for a couple of hours now. It's so windy, it's hard to do a video without it being noisy. I I guess. So I don't know what this is going to sound like. Okay. Neutral, to find neutral's a little bit of a twat, but I guess you'd get used to that. The quick shifter, I guess you'd get used to that. I find myself touching it a little bit too early because I'm used to changing up on sports bikes, having a little bit of pressure on the selector ready, so when you drop the throttle off you're up into the next gear. So that's probably just me, but the minute you touch that gear selector it just obviously kills it for a split second, so you sort of I like it, but that seat is just ruining the whole experience for me. That seat is shocking. The whole reason why I started on about this mission of getting an adventure bike is because I rode up to North Wales on a ZX9 that I've got, and it broke me. I love my ZX9 and I love all of my bikes, but the seat on a sports bike isn't comfortable at all. It's more of a pad than a seat. I want something comfortable and fun and practical, but this seat is just crap, big time. So yeah, that seat, I wouldn't be buying it, that seat, mate. That's terrible. Oh yeah, the other thing that's really crap is this. It's nonsense. That's just, you can't, while you're riding along, that's really hard. That's nasty. Also, the other thing that's crap, as the Missing and Flyer would say, in a bubble of calm. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, as I was saying, Jesus, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I get interrupted by those guys, the security guy. What the hell? Anyway, as I was saying, as the Missing and Flyer would say, sitting here, he likes to call it a bubble of calm. On this bike, you're not in a bubble of calm. All the wind comes up from here, and if you didn't have a visor, you'd be getting it all in your face. So I think that's a bit crap as well. So I'm not really taken by it, I guess. I find too many things I don't like about it. The GS, I'm going to have a go on the 1250. I had to go on the 1200, and I did like it. This is sounding all very negative about this bike. I do like it, but I just don't think it's right. I'm finding too many things I don't like. The Triumph Tiger 1200 XCA, I couldn't find a single thing I didn't like about it, apart from the colour. But other than the colour, it was perfect. So yeah, I'm taking it back now. That's it, I guess. Okay, I took out the KTM 1290 Super Duke S. I liked certain things with it, hated other things with it. The seat was uncomfortable as hell. Neutral was a little bit awkward, but that could have been me. The quick shifter was a bit sensitive. You just touched the selector a little bit and it was cutting the throttle out like you were going to change gear, but that could have been me as well. I liked it, but I didn't. The seat just ruined the experience for me, but when I took it back to Fowler's in Bristol, the salesman, real nice guy, said he thought the seat was hard, so he's going to change it. But anyway, I went straight to Dick Lovett's in Bristol, got straight off the KTM, sat on this, and it was just worlds apart. So I arranged a test ride on this. Obviously this is a 1250 GS. Took the KTM back to Fowler's. He's working out some prices for me anyway. But I've just ridden this from Bristol back to Weston-super-Mare, rode it round a little bit, and there's just no comparison. I don't think I can fault this. I don't think there's anything I don't like. No, I'm 5'9". I've got the seat on the lowest setting, and it's fine. I have to lean the bike over slightly. I've been leaning it over slightly to my right hand side so that I can get my foot almost flat on the floor. If I had a chick on the back and it was loaded up with stuff to go away, you know, that it would be a little bit more unstable. Like I wouldn't want the lower suspension model, lower seat. I wouldn't want to compromise the suspension travel, because I've heard that that's what the lower suspension ones do, and I wouldn't want to compromise my ass comfort by getting a narrower, a thinner seat. I can't find anything I don't like about this. Originally I didn't like the colour, you know, I wanted black because I only do black. I mean, this is my truck and I do black, you know. I only have black stuff normally, but the triple black, they don't do the triple black anymore. So I was thinking about the exclusive, but in actual fact, seeing this in the flesh, I think it's pretty cool. I like it. Anyway, I better take it back to Dick Lovett's now, because they'll be thinking I've gone down to Dover and got on a ferry somewhere. But yeah, like I say, I can't find anything I don't like about it. Maybe the price, I guess. Sat-nav's 600 quid, which a little bit saucy, I fancy, but it is what it is, you know. It's not, I mean, alright, the KTM Super Duke is probably about £5 cheaper, so on the way here I was thinking to myself, is this worth £5 more? It's debatable. I don't know is the answer to that. But so far, I've test ridden the Triumph Tiger 1200 XCA. Couldn't find anything wrong with that either. I'm undecided now. I think I'm going to either get one of these or the Triumph. Quite possibly one of these. Anyway, I better take it back now. They'll be thinking I've left the country. Alrighty then, I've just taken out the XCA 1200 Tiger from Bristol, Fowler's in Bristol. I took this out last year, and the previous model, the Explorer. As I said earlier in this video, when I was riding the KTM and the GS Adventure, I couldn't find anything wrong with this bike. I couldn't find anything I didn't like. However, I've changed my mind. I think the main reason that I couldn't find anything wrong with this bike last year, or the previous model, which was called the Explorer, but there are changes. I'm sure everybody knows what those changes are by now. I thought it was perfect. The reason I think I thought it was perfect, if that makes sense, is I turned up there on a 04 plate R1. So I got off the R1 and I got straight on one of these, so the difference was you know, massive. After riding the GS, I remember an advert that used to be on the TV. I don't know exactly what car it was for. Yeah, I do. It was for a Golf, because there was a guy selling a car and when the people were shutting the door, he goes, see, it sounds like a Golf, but it wasn't a Golf. And that was in my mind when I was riding this earlier. I know I'm talking a load of bollocks here, but I'm trying to explain what I mean in my way. Riding this on the way back to Weston-super-Mare from Bristol, I was thinking to myself about that advert, and yeah, it's not a GS. So, and I ended up comparing it to everything on the GS, and it isn't. The build quality isn't there. The ride is okay. It's a nice bike. I like it, but I can't help saying, but it's not a GS. I didn't really want to say that, but the shift is okay. I do like the heated seat, but you can get that for a GS. I think I've sort of convinced myself which bike I want now. This, I like the look of it, and I am in a bike club, so this would fit in more in that world. I could turn up to events with my brothers in my club, and it wouldn't look out of place. Whereas if I turned up on a GS adventure doing club events, people would think, oh hello, I didn't realise Headmasters were in that club. Not that I've got anything against Headmasters, but it doesn't really matter to me because I got other bikes I can use. The whole point of this mission is finding a comfortable adventure bike that I can do thousands of miles on, hours at a time. You just sat on it, just cruising around. One thing I don't like about this, if I can, right, let me turn the ignition on with a bit of luck. Right, okay, so I've now got the dash on. All the fumbling around, the fumbling of this. Right, so if you put that switch over there, it's not going to do it now. Yeah, it is, there we go. I'm not touching anything. The switch sticks. See that? You know, so you have to keep flicking. It's just all this nonsense. I just don't like the TFT screen. I mean, there's the home button, so you press that, and then you can go into display settings. I wanted to change that, so you press that, go into theme 1, theme 2, press that. You can it's just, and then to go back you press that, and then you got this crap. So obviously that's horrible, so you don't want that. So to change it, I have no idea. Look, that's just zipping away through there because the button sticks. I'm rambling here, I know, sorry, but to change anything is so much faff. I mean, you got to adjust the screen. Okay, that's pretty cool, that you can adjust the screen by a switch on the handlebars, but to get to that setting, I can't even remember what I did. I mean, I just can't work out. Well, let's press the home button. Let's go back here. Riding modes. See there, it shows you rider, rain, sport, but when you've got it, maybe you've got to have it running. Hang on. Oh no, I've turned it off. Okay. Now it's to press that. Oh, it's just bollocks. I can't even be bothered. It's just, the whole thing is just too much work. I mean, you know, the whole thing's just, no, it's bollocks. No, I don't. Okay, I press the home button then. Go down to display setup, theme 1, and then you got 3 different ones for some reason, and then I guess press the home button, and then I'm on that. I'm not too keen on that, but oh, that'll do, I don't even care. The mode button, you press the mode button, and then you got, I'm guessing, oh hang on, I haven't even pressed anything. Right, mode button, right, and then you can scroll through these, which obviously that's rain, must be road, I'm guessing that's sport, it doesn't say it, but I'm guessing. What the I didn't press anything as far as I know. Right, sport, off-road, off-road pro. It's just too much faffing around. No, it's just too much faff. You can't have these fog lights on unless you've got the headlights on, so you can't have just those LEDs on and those fog lights. Okay, does that matter? It's just what I wanted to do for some reason. You can do that on the GS, you can have the LED running light on and the fog lights, but on this you've either got to have these lights on. Let's see if I can work it out, hang on, turn it on. Right, that's what we got on now. That's those LEDs, but you can't have those fog lights on until you turn the lights on, and then you press. No, that's not right. See what I mean? It's just no idea. Maybe it needs to be running. Right. Okay, so now the headlights are on and those day running lights. So then you press that, yeah, and then that comes on. So that's how you have to have those lights on there. You have to have the headlights on. It's just everything's too much faffing around. I've heard people moaning about this, but I didn't find that a problem with my gloves on. You can still press that. The heated seat, I like that. That's good. But you can get that on the GS. I think it's 500 quid, or it might even be 500 quid for the rider and 500 quid for the pillion. So that's £1,000, which is ridiculous money. But you know, I mean, this has got the heated pillion. I've just gone right off it after riding the GS. I'm comparing it to the GS. The Super Adventure, the KTM, that's just not even, I'm not even talking about that anymore. Yeah, it's not in the same league as the GS. If I hadn't ridden anything else, like last year when I got straight off an R1 and got straight on one of these, I couldn't find anything wrong with it. But that's obviously because I hadn't compared it to anything else. I wonder how many times I've said GS in the last couple of weeks. I mean, there's a reason why everybody buys not everybody buys a GS, obviously. But a hell of a lot of people do, and it's apparently the best-selling bike in the world. Well, I can see why. Yeah, okay, there's a stigma attached, and apparently mates of mine were telling me last night, if I buy a GS, nobody will talk to me, nobody will nod at me, only other GS riders. I'm not really sure why that is, but I'm not thinking about all that. I just want something comfortable, something that I'm going to have for a long time, because it's a lot of money. So I want something that's right, and this isn't right for me. Not after riding the GS. I should be on commission, shouldn't I? But it's just, I like the way it rides, but it's not a GS. So I think if people were thinking about buying either the KTM, the Triumph Tiger, or a GS, whether it be the 1200 or the 1250, like I was looking, and you've got the money, after riding all three, okay, I rode the KTM and the 1250 last Saturday, and I'm riding the Triumph Tiger 1200 XCA this Saturday, a week later. I did that on purpose. After riding all three, to me, there's no contest. It's the GS. I'm not 100% sure what the total price of this XCA is. They're doing free luggage at the moment, apparently, but I'm not sure what the overall price is. But from working it out last year, I don't think there was that much in it between this and the GS Adventure. So, to me, I don't know why you would buy one of these. Yeah, I've completely lost the love I had for this. I mean, I was telling everybody how good this was. You can't fault it, I said. I can't find anything I don't like about it. Well, I can now, after riding the GS. There I go again. But I can't help it. I'm trying to be honest as I can, and yeah. The only thing I wasn't amazingly keen on to start with the GS was the colour schemes. But that one that I took out last Saturday, I could go with that. I like it. The gold wheels and that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take this back now. And I'll be surprised if I ever get on one again, to be honest. I mean, changing that screen, I thought that was a really good idea last year. Electric, changing, you know, lifting the screen up and down, adjusting it rather. But you've got to go through the menu and faff around while you're riding down the road to get to. It's just all too complicated. It's just, you know, where on the GS, I know that doesn't do that. You can't adjust it electronically, but everything else that you want to do through the TFT screen is easy. You can ride along without losing your concentration on what you're supposed to be doing, and you can flick through the menus, no problem at all, in nanoseconds. Whereas on this, you find yourself, it's like trying to teach my dad how to text message or use WhatsApp. Maybe I'm too old, I don't know. But you're riding down the road thinking, what the hell's going on here? Well, oh no, now what have I pressed? You know, and in the end you think, oh, bollocks to it, I'll just leave it in whatever it's in. I'm not doing a very good job of explaining it. And I don't do YouTube videos or anything. This is the first time I've done a video to post like that. So apologies, and apologies for the amount of ums on the other two bikes. I don't think I used the word as much as I've done in those two bits of video, but there we go. So anyway, yeah, my summary is, if you can afford the GS, I think that's the way to go. Other people obviously choose these bikes, but I'm not 100% sure why they would choose this over a GS, unless it's just the fact. Actually, I can answer that, because one of my suppliers that works in a motor factors, one of the guys that always answers the phone, I talk to him every day, he's got one of these, and I asked him why he bought this and not the GS, and he said he didn't want the stigma attached to the GS. That's about all he gave me as a reason. But I don't really give a toss what everybody else thinks. And if nobody waves at me, or nobody nods at me, or nobody even speaks to me, then whatever. That's fine. But I don't really understand that, to be honest. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to be getting the GS Adventure 1250. So I hope this video's been of some use or of some interest to people. Yeah, that's about it. Thanks.